A hotel room placed a phone call to itself at 2:13 a.m. The guest inside was never seen again, and the recording of that call ends with a voice whispering, "He's still inside." Room 428 did not stand out when the Eastbrook Hotel first opened. It was an ordinary corner room on the 4th floor, identical to every other room along the corridor. Same furniture, same window, same outdated phone resting on the bedside table. For years, guests checked in and out without incident, leaving behind nothing more memorable than rumpled sheets and forgotten chargers. Nothing about the room suggested it would ever become a problem. The first complaints began quietly in late 2011. Guests staying on the 4th floor reported phone calls late at night that stopped the moment they were answered. Some described hearing breathing on the line. Others said the sound felt closer than the receiver, as if it were coming from inside the room itself. Front desk staff blamed crossed lines. The hotel's phone system was old, and occasional malfunctions were expected. Technicians inspected the wiring. Nothing was wrong. Over the next 2 years, the complaints continued sporadically, always after midnight, always involving room phones. No pattern was obvious, and no single guest experienced it twice. Management saw no reason to escalate the issue. Then, in March 2014, Victor Halle checked in. Victor was 39, traveling alone, booked for 2 nights. Security footage shows him arriving at 9:12 p.m., exchanging brief words with the front desk, and being assigned room 428 because it was available and close to the elevator. He entered the lift carrying a single duffel bag. At 9:46 p.m., a hallway camera recorded Victor unlocking the door to room 428 and stepping inside. That was the last confirmed sighting of him. The following morning, housekeeping knocked on the door at 10:30 a.m. There was no response. Checkout time passed. Still nothing. Using a master key, staff entered the room. Everything was untouched. The bed was perfectly made. The bathroom was dry. The duffel bag sat unopened near the dresser. The window was locked from the inside, seals intact. There was no sign that anyone had slept there, showered, or even unpacked. It looked like a room no one had ever entered. At first, staff assumed Victor had left early, but the digital key logs showed his card had not been used after 9:46 p.m. Elevator cameras recorded no departure. Exterior cameras showed no sign of him exiting the building. Police were notified. They searched the room thoroughly. Ventilation shafts were inspected, ceiling panels removed, maintenance access points examined. There was no space large enough for a person to disappear into. The fire escape outside the window was empty. No alarms had been triggered. No witnesses came forward. Victor Halle had entered room 428 and never come out. With no evidence of foul play, the investigation stalled. There were no suspects, no motive, and no indication of how a person could vanish from a sealed room inside a functioning hotel. Then investigators reviewed the phone records. At 2:13 a.m., room 428 placed an outgoing call. Not to the front desk, not to an outside number. Room 428 called itself. Hotel engineers initially dismissed it as a system glitch, but when they accessed the archived audio, they found a recording attached to the call. It began with silence, then breathing slow, deliberate, unmistakably human. After 13 seconds, a voice whispered a single sentence. "He's still inside." The voice did not match Victor Hale's. Hotel management immediately removed room 428 from service. Staff were instructed not to enter under any circumstances. The official explanation was ongoing maintenance. But word spread quickly among employees. Housekeepers refused to approach the door. A maintenance worker quit after claiming the phone rang while he was standing inside the room despite the line being unplugged. Police returned for a second investigation. This time, they discovered something else in the keycard logs. Between midnight and 3 a.m., the door to room 428 had been unlocked multiple times. Each unlock was registered from inside the room. No corresponding exits were logged. Security footage showed the handle moving slightly each time, but the door never opened. Victor Halle was officially listed as missing, presumed dead. No explanation was offered. Room 428 was sealed. The phone was disconnected. The lights were shut off. The door was double-locked. The room number was removed from booking systems. For a while, nothing happened. Then guests on the fourth floor began reporting phone calls. Not calls to their rooms, calls from their rooms. Several guests said their phones rang once, between 2 and 3 a.m. When answered, no one spoke. Others reported breathing, followed by a faint clicking sound, like a call being transferred. One guest recorded the audio. It captured silence, breathing, and the same whispered sentence, "He's still inside." Telecommunications experts replaced the entire phone system on the fourth floor. New wiring, new hardware, new software. The calls continued. In 2017, a night security guard reported seeing a light on inside room 428 during his rounds. When he approached, the hallway temperature dropped noticeably. He claimed the door handle moved on its own before stopping abruptly. Power logs showed no electricity had been supplied to the room. In 2019, the hotel changed ownership. During a review of restricted areas, new management discovered room 428 still listed as sealed. Records explaining why were incomplete. Incident reports were missing. Audio files referenced in logs no longer existed. They considered reopening the room. During a test inspection, the phone rang. No call was logged. The inspector refused to return. Today, room 428 remains locked. The number does not appear on any public floor plans. Guests are never assigned rooms nearby if alternatives exist. But staff know. They know because sometimes late-at-night phones across the fourth floor ring simultaneously once and stop. And if someone answers fast enough, they hear breathing, followed by a whisper that always sounds closer than it should. "He's still inside." Victor Halle has never been found, and according to the last call placed from room 420, never left.